about 5 or 6 years ago. We got out. We were in Jersey at the time, and I remember we pulled out on the turnpike. Although that was the one we actually stopped. Remember, we stopped at one of the rest stops, and we were having lunch, and then I think you realized you forgot your wallet or something. Remember that? Yeah, and we had to drive.
Yeah.
And we'd been in, because I think we'd been in traffic for like 2 hours and had to stop and have lunch, and then we got there and you realized.
We didn't even make it out of Jersey. We were still
right.
We had just gotten past like the city area.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, a good old, was it 19 or whatever?
Yeah.
19, yeah. And I think we got all the way up, or we only got that far, and then you realized you had left your wallet, so we had to go all the way back for that. And then I think once we finally got on our way, the sky opened up. And I just remember that was another, although actually with going up to Boston, I mean, that was gray the whole time. That was like a dark iron gray sky the whole trip.
That's Boston.
Yeah. As long as it's dry, as long as it's not constantly raining, that kind of weather actually agrees with me. I don't mind cool, gray, overcast weather. It's just when it's either real humid or raining, I'm crazy about it. But I have to say that we made pretty good time with Michigan. Was it 10 hours out there? We made a few stops along the way.
Yeah, it was by the time we got there.
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, I don't remember feeling that long. I mean, when we got there, it was like, oh, okay. I still liked. I still think our drive to New Orleans was that was the real endurance test. We did what, 2 nights getting down there?
Just one night.
Oh, one night. Well, I mean, we stopped one night though, right? Yeah. That was a fun trip, though. I'd love to get back there someday. Anyway, when we get to the beach, well, looks like those drizzles that I saw a few minutes ago, they seem to have stopped. But I think once we get down there, we'll see how the weather's looking and get settled in. What do you think you want to do for dinner tonight? Some seafood, or do you want to go to the nearby seafood place, or do you want to try the other one?
Let's see how we feel when we get there.
Yeah.
I mean, the nearby one is just standard fried seafood.
Yeah.
On paper plates.
Right.
Nothing spectacular. It's fine.
Yeah, it's nice to do it like at least one night. I was just thinking when we were down here last September with the bikers convention. Noise from that was, I mean, that alone was crazy. But I forgot you mentioned that all those restaurants were just packed. You couldn't find a seat anywhere.
Well, also with everything shutting down, well, for the season, but also shutting back down because of the pandemic.
Right.
Couldn't really eat inside, or it was limited capacity, and they were all booked up.
I just remember sitting out at that Starbucks, sitting outside one afternoon. Couldn't have it inside. We were sitting out there and it was cold.
Wind was really, really whipping.
And a whole convoy of bikers that's coming through and revving up. This is just miserable. Well, this going down a little earlier this year, I think will help. So anyway, once we get there, I guess we'll just get checked in and see what's going on. Oh, look, here comes the rain again, it looks like. So you never really took any road trips as a kid, right? No. We took, my family, we took them all the time. At least once or twice a year. We usually go down to, either here to Ocean City or to Myrtle Beach. And it's funny because, when you're a kid, these rides feel a lot longer now. It's like you have a much, I think because you have a much better sense of perspective of distance and where things are in relation to each other, and you kind of expect to know when you're going to get there and how long it's going to take. But as a kid, it just felt like these trips could just go on and on forever. There was one time I remember us going down to Williamsburg, Virginia, and that I think we did as a day trip, actually, and that I just remember feeling like one of the longest car rides I've ever had. Because we're never going to get there. I don't know. I enjoy these trips. This drive to Ocean City is nothing now compared to some of the. I remember about, I think it was in '94 when we went down to Kentucky, and we went to Nashville as well on that trip. That was probably the biggest road trip I'd been on up to that point. Well, except for going to Disney World, but I was very young on that trip. I just remember stopping south of the border between the Carolinas. I've still got to get you down there one of these days. That is a fun place, an interesting place.
It's just like a really big crash rest stop.
Basically, yeah. It's a very gaudy tourist attraction. The funny thing, I remember stopping there, and I think we were actually coming back from Florida because we stopped in Myrtle Beach on that trip. I think, in fact, that may have been the first time. That was the first time that we'd been in Myrtle Beach. My brother was very young; he was having trouble sleeping, and I remember we checked into the Hillcrest Hotel there, where we stayed many times over the years until they finally closed it down. But I remember we stayed there, and I remember stopping at south of the border. The funny thing about it was it kind of made an impression on me because it was just so lit up. And the strangest thing that I remember, they had this little, I don't know what you call it, not a game, but a little thing you put a quarter in, and it would give you a little plastic egg with a little toy in it or whatever. But I remember they had this stuffed parrot hanging inside this. It was like a glass box, and it's funny the things you remember. I haven't been down the south of the border in I bet at least it's been close to 20 years. But the things you see on these road trips, that's a lot of fun. Do you remember any at all? Any places you went at all on road trips?
The place we would ever go is my grandfather who lived up in Keene Valley, New York, and it took like 6 hours.
Right.
With my brothers sitting on either side of me, and of course being the youngest, you get the center seat.
Right.
Like push buggy. There were a lot more back then.
Oh yeah, all the little things you find to pass the time. We used to listen to, I remember we had a lot of books on tape. Mom would always bring books on tape from the library we would listen to. And of course the CB radio. That was always good for getting yourself into some trouble with. I'll never forget the one trip we had. We had it on, and playing. I forget what it was now, but playing different sounds from the cassette tapes over the CB radio, and just really driving those truckers insane listening to it. You hear some interesting conversations though out on the highway at night. Really need to get us a CB radio.
I doubt that it's as much chatter as it was back then.
No. In fact, the last time, because my dad had the one that we bought. We bought it for him as a gift when he was driving. It was when he was going in for training for work. And I forget where he was either going down to Atlanta or he was going up to Rochester. And I don't remember which now, but it was a very long drive, and we bought him that CB radio set, which we had. That's when we had growing up on all the road trips. And about 10 years ago, he and I actually took that thing out up on 83, and we actually did find one person, not one trucker out there who was still using his, but I think they've all switched over to smartphones now. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I'll go ahead and check us in. Okay, here's the thing. They actually can't check us in until 3:30.
Why? It's 25 minutes.
Well, no, they said it's a 4 o'clock check-in, but they said they could get us in there at 3:30. It said 3 on our reservations. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Right. Well, we made it.
So we did.
Not a bad little place. I have to say, this is a different design than one we've stayed in the past. I don't know if this was renovated or what.
Well, it's got tile rather than carpet, so it'll be
Yeah.
easier to clean, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, you're very particular about where we stay, so I hope you like it.
I'm not particular, I just don't want a human-shaped stain in the bed.
You'll never let me live that place down. That motel.
Why should I?
Well, it was the only place to stay. I insisted on staying there, but
Yeah, you did.
wasn't there a spider in the shower or something?
Wasn't just one, it was like a whole colony.
Well, I'll tell you though, the owners of that place were pretty cool. It was cash only. They didn't want to know our names or where we were from or what we were doing there.
Yeah, they were real awesome.
Oh man, I'll tell you that it's funny with all the road trips that we went on as when I was a kid. I mean, we stayed in places like that. I mean, maybe not quite that colorful, but yeah. I mean, we stayed in some interesting places. Usually, when we were driving down, that's the thing. Like you said, you didn't stay in a lot of those kind of places when you were a kid. We would stay at roadside motels, going down to Little Beach, Ocean City. One of the craziest ones that we stayed in, and I forget exactly where it was now. But we were down here in Ocean City. I just don't remember exactly where it would have been, but it was like a little motor camp type place. And I remember we got there. I forget exactly what we were doing, why we would have stopped at this place, but we got there real late, and it was pouring rain. And as my mom and I, we were unloading the luggage from the car, and there was it felt like almost like little pinpricks, like on neck, our arms, and it was little mosquitoes. And then when we finally got in there and got bedded down, I remember it was laying there in the dark, hearing the rain, beating against the window, but otherwise silent. And then hearing a little mosquito buzz in your ear. Uh-oh, it's going to be in for a long night. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely stayed in some interesting... There was another one that... Did I tell you about the time we stayed on Ocracoke? This one was wild. This was right. It was an island off of but we were down near Myrtle Beach, and I guess it's down in the. I can't think what that area is called down there off of South Carolina. But anyway, this place was like I said on this little island, and I remember. I mean, it was real nice. But what I remember was like that first night that we stayed, and it may have been the only night we stayed there, the power started going crazy. I mean, it didn't just go out, but it was like, I remember the TV, it was like a Jacob's ladder with the electricity going up the screen. And I remember my dad going over to turn it off late at night, and that electricity just left right off the screen and shocked him. But the crazy thing was the next day we were talking to the manager, and he said that the power, I don't know if it's like the transformer or whatever for that island, apparently is it's located somewhere off the shore, and apparently they have times where like sharks or others, I guess large fish will get I don't know, they'll run into it and cause an interference with it. And it happens all the time. Yeah, there was no storm or anything that I remember. Yeah, Keith did some really late night motels on those road trips. I remember one getting the desk clerk. I mean, he was pretty much sleeping there. We must have arrived 2 in the morning and got him out of bed. When you're traveling that late, though, sometimes you just got to stop at the first place that you see. Glad we made it here. I just don't know what we're going to do if it keeps raining.
Always party with the neighbors.
Yeah, right.
They seem like fun guys.
Yeah. No, we'll figure something out here soon. I'm gonna just check in with work there real quick. What's going on? This is amazing.
What?
What's it been, like 4 hours since we left the house? And already, my inbox is just filling up with emails. It's like I just can't get away from it. It's overwhelming. You know what? We're gonna have to I'm gonna have to respond to a few of these. It's gonna be a little while, so you might as well get comfy, because I've got to take care of this before we head out anywhere for dinner.
You put your away message up. This is your time that you're owed. You need to take it.
Yeah, I know I'm owed this time, and I try to take it, but every time that I do, stuff comes up. And I think what makes it worse is, this is the first time I've taken off in over a year. We come all the way down here and it's raining,
You can't control the weather, and it's not going to last. So.
I know, it's just all this stuff I'm dealing with at work. It just piles up and piles up. The problem is I can't. It's not about the phone or the email. It's just mentally I can't relax. That's the problem. I used to have this. You remember when we used to go with your family up to the lake in the summer? This is several years back since we did that. But I said it then too. It's that I can never mentally relax because of everything that I know is just piling up, and that's it. There is no end in sight to this.
So if it's a problem now, and it's going to be a problem later, why not just let it be a problem later?
It's just, the problem is if I put it off, it just compounds, it just gets worse and worse, and then it's just more that I have to try to catch up with later. That's the whole thing. That's why I'm always, I get this way about taking any time off at all, because I feel like it just piles up and piles up. And there's more waiting for me when we get back. You know, I'm just sick of it. And I just would have liked, you know, to have, you know, it's driving down here too, bumper to bumper traffic, you know, taking longer than it should because of this rain.
Well, listen, if it wasn't raining, would you be out on the beach right now?
I'd like to, yeah. I'd like to. Anyway, you know, what time is it? I think I just need to just chill out by myself a bit, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna actually walk on down to the beach, and I'll be back. Think about, you know, we're gonna figure out what we want to do for dinner, but I just have to head out by myself for a little bit, okay? Hey, I'm back.
How is it?
I have to say, it's not too bad out there. It's gray and chilly, but at least it's dry.
How are you?
I'm better. Just had to spend a little time alone, you know what I mean? And, you know, just spend a little time alone with my thoughts, I guess. But listen, I'm sorry for getting, you know, short with you earlier and getting so worked up about the work stuff. I know you're tired of hearing it as much as I'm tired of dealing with it.
Well, you're entitled to have, you know, emotions.
Yeah, but I don't like it when it comes out on you like that. You don't deserve it, and you know it's just giving it all too much power. I don't like it, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I know you're dealing with all your own things too. I don't want you to feel like I forget about that.
Really don't.
It's just been a really tough year, and I think it's just starting to take its toll on me. But I want you to know that your support always means the world. I hope I'm there for you too.
Well, you always have it.
Yeah, it's been a it's definitely been a rough year. But you know, it's funny just sitting down there by the water and just it's one of those things I've done. I've always found it very calming. And it helps. But we'll certainly make the most, even if we're not able to get out as much as we like with this trip. I think we'll make the most of the time here.
On that note.
Yeah, we'll go get something to eat soon. Reading anything good here?
Just the local travel mag.
Yeah. Well, depending on how the weather goes, we'll have to see what might be interesting to look into while we're here.
Yeah.
Thanks for always being there with everything. It really means a lot. I just feel so bad unburdening all that on you.
Well, I'm glad you can get it out at least. Let it go.
Well, I think we'll have to take a little walk down to the ocean together here soon. Maybe before we walk over to dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I guess I'll start getting ready. Are you gonna be ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Give me just a few, and we'll walk on down there. Okay.
All right.